Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Baharakah Quadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elder bishops, and the elders of the great millstone. And peace and salutations to the hopeful elect out of toiling in this truth. And to the few Akwathim that listen and learn in silence. To all of you, I say Shalom. I'm the brother Pathaka Math, GMS Dallas. And I'm just coming back at you with a really quick hit, impromptu, in-transit lesson. And on my way to camp, and I don't know, the spirit just hit me to mash record, you know. Just sitting here thinking as I'm driving, thinking about the kingdom of heaven, man, you know, which is at hand, you know, as the scriptures say, you know. And it's going to be right here on earth. You know, the kingdom of heaven will be here on earth. And it'll be governed by the elect, those 144,000 men, those 12,000 from each tribe that's spoken about in Revelation, the 7th chapter. And it'll be here on earth, man. You know what I'm saying? And it consists of the throne of David, you know? So without any further ado, I just want to get right into some scriptures, man, because like I said, the spirit was on me to just smash record. I don't have a lesson put together. So real quick, and I'm driving, so bear with me. You know, I'm running into some traffic right now. Should have known. This highway always jacked up. This is Matthew chapter 6. And we're going to drop down to verse 10 because it's going into the Lord's Prayer. It's red letters, Yahweh Shai is speaking. It's Matthew 6 and 10. And it reads, Thy kingdom, as a matter of fact, let me take this, take the parallel off, Salakia. This is Matthew chapter 6 and verse 10. And it reads, Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And that right there shows you, proves to you and tells you that the kingdom of heaven is going to be right here on earth, man. Most people don't have a clue what the kingdom of, especially Christians, don't have a clue what the kingdom of heaven even consists of, what it's all about, what it's talking about. Well, here it is right here in the Lord's Prayer. The Lord is telling you what the kingdom of heaven, you know, where it's going to be. It's going to be right here on earth, and it's going to, the law, statutes, and commandments are going to go forth. You know, when you read in Isaiah, the 2nd chapter, and Micah, the 4th chapter, it goes into it, how the laws are going to go forth from Zion, or out of Zion, roughly paraphrasing, man. You know, that's part of this, what we're reading right here. You know, that's dealing with the kingdom of heaven, Isaiah 2 and Micah 4, man. You know, so this is Matthew 6 and 10. It says, Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. There it is, the kingdom come, the kingdom of heaven, you know. And it's talking about the will of the Lord being done in the kingdom of heaven, which is going to be where? Right here on earth. In earth as it is in heaven, you know. So because there's perfect righteousness and order in the heavens, with the Most High, man, you know. And that's going to be established in the earth by way of the rod, you know, pursuant to Psalms, the 2nd chapter, and Revelation, the 2nd chapter. So the kingdom of heaven is going to be right here on earth. As a matter of fact, it reminds me of Daniel. Let's get that in Daniel real quick. Daniel, the 7th chapter, verse 27, I believe. This is Daniel 7, verse 27, and it reads, and the kingdom, which is the same kingdom we just read about in Matthew, the 6th chapter, in the Lord's Prayer, the kingdom of heaven, and the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven. See, under the heaven, you know, that's your sky. When you look up where the planes and the birds fly, it says under that. We're under that on the earth. We're under the sun. We're under the heaven. So it says, and the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven. So that's the whole entire planet earth. Shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, which is the Israelites, which consist of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians of Negro descent. You know, of course, the scattered seed that may not come looking like the average Israelite, man, because the seed has been scattered. You know, they're gonna come looking like those other nations because of over a dispensation of time. You know what I'm saying? You know, the procreating over a dispensation of time. So it says, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, proving what the kingdom is talking. It's talking about the kingdom of heaven. That's the only everlasting kingdom, is the kingdom of heaven. It says, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. Who? Yahawashi, man, when he returns, whom the world, the earth, ignorantly and fraudulently refers to as Jesus Christ. You know, his true biblical Hebrew name is Yahawashi, man. He the deliverer. He delivers. He saves. And that's what he's coming to do. He's going to save the elect, you know, of his people, man. You know? So, yeah, the kingdom is going to be right here on earth. And it's going to consist of the throne of David, man. You know what I'm saying? So, as a matter of fact, real quick, let's get Isaiah, the 9th chapter. And we'll drop down to verse 6. Well, we'll read verse 5 because this proves it's going from the destruction right into the kingdom, man. This is Isaiah 9 and 5. It says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. Talking about war, man. But this shall be, this coming war, you know, which we've had wars. You know, the Lord is, Exodus 15 and 3, the Lord is a man of war. You know, Yahweh is a man of war. Yahweh is his name, man. You know what I'm saying? So he's about war. And when you read in Revelation the 8th, I believe around verse 13, it goes into those three woes that were prophesied by the angel and put into the earth. That spirit put into the earth, man. You know? So, yeah, 3 major wars were prophesied before the implementation of the kingdom of heaven. And, you know, we had World War I, we had World War II. And that's why when you read in Revelations, I believe it's 11 and 14, it says, the second woe has passed, the third woe cometh quickly. Which is talking about those world wars, man. You know? And those wars were prophesied. Revelation the 8th chapter, which, again, the Most High Yahweh is a man of war, Exodus 15 and 3. So it says, Isaiah 9 and 5, for every battle, those wars, especially going into the ancient wars, you know, when they dealt with the swords and the shields and the, you know what I'm saying, the arrows and all of those, the bow and arrows and those type things, you know. But even in these times, you know what I'm saying, you know, it says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, you know, all the clanking, you know, of the swords on the shields and the, you know, just the different the screams of being maimed or killed, you know, the bloodshed, and Salakia for the noise, you know, I'm driving. So it says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise. That's that confused noise, man. You know, in these times, you know, guns firing off, you know, missiles being launched, army tanks blasting, you know what I'm saying, those army tank blasts, and, you know, all these different things is going into that confused noise, man, you know. So every battle of the warrior was with confused noise, all the way up until today. It says, and garments rolled in blood. Yeah, you know, the people bleeding, you know, those front line men in these times, you know. But it says, but this coming war, this third woe, destruction, this final destruction, I'm a God one, shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Yeah, thermonuclear fire. Those missiles, man, being launched out of those silos. And all these nations have them. So that's the destruction going right into the kingdom. Isaiah 9 and 6. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given. And who is that child, that son? Yahawashi, our Lord and Savior, our deliverer. It says, and the government shall be upon his shoulder. That's the elect, the 144,000, you know, because he's the ultimate high priest. And the high priest would wear those ephods with the 12 stones representing the 12 tribes, you know. And Yahushua, you know, being that ultimate high priest, his ephod has those 12 stones representing 12,000 men from each of the 12 tribes, man. 144,000. That's the government being upon his shoulders. And it says, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty Power, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Verse 7. Of the increase of his government, because that's what's going to be established in the kingdom, that government, the government of Israel, you know, headed by our big brother Yahushua, you know what I'm saying? Of course, King David, you know, the 12, the apostles, the 144,000, you know, which is the governing body, and of course then you're going to have the 1/3, and of course the 2/3 will fall up under them, and then the rest of the nations will fall up under that. But, which is the order, man, you know, and the Lord is all about order, that all things be done decently and in order. The Lord said that in Corinthians, is it 10 and 40 or 14 and 40, something like that. Salakia, on that, you know, I don't know exactly where it is, but it's in there. But it says, of the increase of his government and peace, there shall be no end. No end. Everlasting. It's the kingdom of heaven, man. It says, upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth, even forever. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this. So it says of the kingdom of the throne of David, man. You know, because that's what's going to be established in the earth, the throne of David. When you read in what is that? I'm trying to remember where it is. Amos, the 9th chapter. It goes into how the house of David, you know, the breaches are being repaired, sealed up, you know, because that's what's being established, man. The house of David and the throne of David is going to be established in the earth, you know. That's the throne that the Most High Yahweh is going to give to his son, Yahushua. This is Luke. Let's see exactly where I'm going to start. Maybe get to the point, maybe. I started verse 30. So this is Luke chapter 1 and verse 30, and it reads, and the angel said unto her, to who? Mary. Fear not, Mary, there it is, for thou hast found favor with the Most High. And behold, thou shalt conceive, thou shalt conceive in thy womb, and bring forth a son, and shall call his name Yahushua. Verse 32, he shall be great, and shall be called the Son of the Highest. And the Lord power, Most High Yahweh, shall give unto him the throne of his father David. There it is, man. The throne of David. That's going to be given to our big brother Yahushua. He's going to sit on the throne of David, man. You know, of his father David. And we know when David was on the throne, what was going down. You know, there's accounts. You can you know, get those accounts. You know, we brought them out in other lessons. I'm not going to bring it out today, but you know, King David had these nations in subjection, man. You know, put garrisons, you know, and you know, garrisons in Edom, you know, so he was putting garrisons and they were in subjection, man, you know, and that's what's going to happen in the kingdom of heaven, man. These nations are going to be in subjection, man, you know, that's what's coming, man. So the kingdom of heaven is going to be right here on earth, and the throne of David will be established as well. So, you know, I just want to, like I said, Spirit jumped on me. Oh, Lord, when this was edifying. With that, giving all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Baruch HaKadosh. Double honors to the apostles, the elder bishops, and the elders of the great millstone. And peace and blessings to the elect, the house of David, the Bayaf Shah, Shalom.